Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Health, Wealth, and Anything Else. Hey guys, welcome back. It's another week, another episode. Got a new look for the podcast this week, as you might have noticed so far. Also doing it, well, if you're listening, you won't notice this difference, but also recording it as well, so can potentially get some easier clips on YouTube. So I might actually even post the whole podcast on YouTube. I'm not exactly sure yet. I'll see how it goes, see how it turns out. Might be good, might be rubbish. But let's get jumped straight into it. We're going to start with crypto and financial kind of news this week. First thing we're going to talk about is the US has passed what they've called an anti-inflation bill, which is going to do nothing to fight inflation. So basically, what they've done is passed a bill that means they can print $740 billion, which is a ridiculous amount. And obviously, as we know, inflation is caused by printing too much money, diluting the value of a currency. So they're going to try and fight that, supposedly, by printing even more money, which obviously will not work. But I've mentioned it before, they don't really want it to work. They're happy to completely crash the currency, crash the economy. That's kind of their aim. And in the meantime, with all this money being printed, they can hand it out to their friends and different businesses they're involved with before everything completely crashes down. So that's basically what's happening. And a lot of people kind of missing the complete irony of it because that they're printing money to fight inflation. It's like you start eating McDonald's to lose weight. Like it's ridiculous. It's obviously not going to work. So 430 billion of that, which is more than half if you're any good at maths, is going to be spent on fighting climate change, apparently, which again, that's another scam used to just siphon off money to their friends, to their businesses they're involved in. Whether you think there's actually any real climate change or not, is regardless, the majority of money, pretty much all the money that's spent on it, that's put into it, is just them trying to get rid of money, well, not get rid of it, trying to pass it out to their friends, hide it through different businesses and investments, and basically get all that money back to themselves. They just use it as that. Like, you could still think climate change is happening and still understand that they use it to pass money out to people. So that's what it's for. Another thing they're doing in America is they're going to raise taxes, which probably most other countries are going to do too, and they're going to hire 87,000 new IRS agents, which again, I reckon other countries probably will follow suit too. So basically, they're saying we're going to make sure that we squeeze every last penny out of just the average working normal person in the country. They're going to be getting richer and richer. They're throwing out money to themselves, to their friends, but they're going to squeeze every last penny out of you. That's the message they're sending out. That's what people need to understand and be prepared for. That they're going to be coming after people. They want all your money. So that's what we need to be aware of there. In terms of actually within crypto, also some very important stuff happened this week. Which first off, the US banned the use of Tornado Cash, which that's basically an app where it's a mixer. So people use it if they don't want to be tracked for all the money they have. So say you make a transaction on the blockchain, if people can tell that's you, they can follow the blockchain and they can see all the wallets that are linked to that, and they can basically look at everything you've got, whether that's just random people looking or governments, whatever. But some people don't want that to be seen, so they use a mixer like Tornado Cash. The money will go in, it all gets mixed around, comes out randomly to other wallets, and people can't track it. That's all it does. But they've banned it. It's been around for a while. So they're basically, I think their reason was that they think that North Korea apparently was, North Korea is always a good one to blame because no one knows what goes on in North Korea. They just believe anything you say about it. So apparently North Korea were involved in some of the hacks that have happened recently, and apparently they used Tornado Cash to kind of get rid of the trace. So that's their reason they've used, and they've said it's now illegal, which obviously it's just about, again, control. So if they get rid of anywhere where any mixers where you can hide the trail of your money, that means they've just got more and more control. Everything's on the blockchain, everything's visible on it. So if you can't use those places, they can see everything. They've got more control of you and your money. So that's the end goal of it. But it's gone even further then this week because they've also now arrested one of the developers from it in I think they arrested him in the Netherlands. Pretty sure is where it happened. But I mean, he's just a developer, and he's written code for an app. They've made an app which is perfectly legal up until they just made it illegal the other day. Perfectly legal. He just wrote code for it. He's come up with it, written it, been part of it, and he's now being arrested for being involved in money laundering and other stuff. I think they've said about the charges of it, but it's ridiculous and it's getting very out of hand with things like that, arresting them because you've got to start to look now at the knock-on effects that's going to have, and the fact that it's probably going to hold back some advancements, some, I'm trying to think about what you'd even say, technological advances in crypto, because developers now are going to be more cautious about doing new projects and doing new things because they could just get arrested down the line if someone decides that, oh no, it's bad now what you did. So it's a very dangerous precedent. It's basically just them saying that we don't agree with this. I'm going to arrest you for it. The guy's not done anything wrong. Even if someone used Tornado Cash for money laundering, which they could have, it's not his fault. If he's just made an application that works and does a certain job, if someone is going to use it illegally, then that's fine. You know, people probably do drug deals in McDonald's car parks. Are they going to arrest the people at the top of McDonald's because illegal stuff happens in their car parks? Like, you know what I mean? It's not, he hasn't done it. He's just made an app, and maybe some people have misused it. How much has actually been misused, I don't know. That's one of the things they kind of have used over the years to try and put people off crypto is that, oh, there's so much money laundering and it's all criminal money in crypto and stuff. It's not. There's more money laundering, more, organized crime and stuff in normal money than crypto. That's just a thing they make up to try and put people off. But that's kind of a few things that happened this week, which are pretty kind of important and not good, really, because it's as I said, that the arrest, especially the arrest. I mean, banning is bad, but arresting the guy, one of the developers behind it, sets a very dangerous precedent for the kind of things that they're going to do now, which also ties in with they raided Donald Trump's house, of course, in Florida this week as well, trying to accuse him of stuff, and it just shows that people kind of have this whole thing of the West and the US, that kind of these advanced democratic societies, and then we have the other parts of the world like Africa and some parts of Asia painted as like these dictatorships. They'll arrest members of the opposition and false charges and all this to illegally get elections and fraud and forcing voters to do this and that. And America is basically doing the same thing. They're not a free democracy at all. They're arresting an opposition leader for nothing. There's tons of people who could have been raided by the FBI who've actually done stuff. I mean, there's evidence out there. I won't get too deep into the political side, but anyway, that plus the tornado cash thing is bad signs that it's just more and more control closing in. You can't do anything and you can't get away. Let's talk a bit about where crypto actually is right now. So it's been quite interesting the last couple of weeks, seeing where we're going. We've kind of had a bit of a relief rally. We had, of course, the CPI this week, which I said I would cover, and it was not too much crazy happened from it, to be honest. And we actually have kind of continued with the trend from it. So we were we were kind of ranging. It wasn't anything too. We were in a slight uptrend for the last few weeks, but over the last couple of days, we're kind of ranging, slight downtrend maybe coming into it. Then price sort of came up in the morning before the announcement. It pumped on the announcement, and I was kind of expecting either to dump first and then pump, or to pump and then dump, but it kind of just pumped and stayed up. It's kind of since then it's kind of ranged around that area of the price, but kind of bumped up. The CPI came in at 8.5%. They predicted 8.7, so everyone was happy that it was zero point 0.2 lower than it should have been. But obviously, we shouldn't be happy with 8.5% inflation because that's ridiculous. And actual inflation will be much higher than that. So it wasn't. It didn't have a huge effect. It kind of, if it had been much higher, maybe it could have affected differently, or if it was a lot lower, maybe even a more positive response. But overall, we kind of just continued with the kind of trend we're on, which is kind of a slow grind up. We're looking good to go higher, but nothing moves in a straight line in crypto. So over the next few weeks, month, there's a good chance that we do continue a rally and go higher, but there will be pullbacks along the way. So if we start pulling back, that doesn't mean it's necessarily over, but it's probably it's probably not gonna, well, it's definitely not gonna last forever. It's gonna last a while. Now, one of the things interesting around it is there's a narrative kind of behind it, which is that the Ethereum merge has been officially announced as a date. So for those who don't know, I think I've spoken about it before. The Ethereum merge is essentially moving from proof of work to proof of stake. So the gas fees on Ethereum are very high, which is one of the things it's known for. I mean, pretty much the majority of crypto is built on Ethereum chain, even the sort of the other chains that are built on top of it. There's a huge amount on there. It is the one used most for smart contracts and all of that. There's a lot on it. But gas fees are high, especially if it gets busy, it can be really, really high. Stuff can take a long time to go through. But the gas fees should come down a lot with this move. So proof of work is where it has to be mined, like like Bitcoin and things like that. The proof of stake is people stake coins to a node and produce it and whatever. It's I won't get into technical stuff of it, but it's basically easier, cheaper to do it. Should be. So it's been, I think, about 2 years delays of it. It was being supposed to have been done ages before I was in crypto. And eventually we've now got a date. So September 15th and 16th is when it's going to happen, which is a month away from now. And I think last week they had the last test merge from the test nets, which went successfully. So we're pretty much all good to go for the merge in a month's time. So I think that we're going to see a continued push up probably until then, until around then. But I do think that either before it or after it, we are going to dump back and probably to new lows from where we've been before. Might not be an instant dump to new lows, but we're going to dump, continue down, and eventually we are going to hit new lows, I think, because it's coming close to. I was kind of looking at around November time for us to probably fully bottom out in the market if we continue the cycles of the previous years. So that's something to bear in mind. Ethereum has looked strong. It's probably looked stronger than Bitcoin over the last week or so. And so if we are going to see that continue push up, then Ethereum and probably some of the other coins that are sort of tied to Ethereum, that are in Ethereum pairs, that probably alts that are linked to that are probably going to see good, hopefully some good increases. I mean, over the last couple of weeks, some alts have seen very good increases, pushes up. So they might not have a huge amount left to push up before we come back down, but Ethereum itself definitely could. I mean, it was only maybe like a month or so ago that Ethereum was actually trading it bottomed so far in the market at about $1,000 trading. It's now around 2,000. So, that's a 100% increase in about a month. So it's been looking good. It can push higher. Definitely, it could break through 2000, go a bit higher. I don't know how much higher than that. Bitcoin, we could see pushing up to 26, 28, something like that. But probably not much higher than that. I think definitely we are going to get smacked back down and hit new lows at some point. Ethereum back below 1,000 into the hundreds. As I say, Bitcoin I think could go near 10,000. So I think the longer this kind of rally goes on and coming towards the merge, the more you start to see people starting to grow in confidence that we're heading back to a bull run, and people always have a reason and excuse for everything. So in the last bull run, people were talking about it's different this time around. There's this institutional adoption, and there's all this stuff happening. So we're not going to have a normal cycle. We're just going to keep going up. There won't be a pullback. We'll keep going up. That was the narrative. That was what 3AC believed in, which is why they got liquidated. They were fully long, believing that all the way down. And people have this narrative, but it doesn't actually matter. Like the cycles happen regardless. It's just noise around it. So people will start giving this narrative of the merge, Ethereum, it's going to hit, and we're just going to, explode, and that's fine. We've already bottomed. We're going to go back to a bull run already, and we won't. There's probably like a 0.01% chance of that happening. Who knows? It could happen, but I seriously doubt it does. I think we go back to new lows. As I say, it gives a reason for a little. There's always bear market rallies in everyone. We've got a little narrative for it now, which is the Ethereum merge. Probably going to run up to that, and then, well, I mean, we could dump afterwards, but also what the market could do is some people might be looking at it thinking, there's a good chance we'll go up, and dump afterwards. So some people will be preparing to sell out just after, take their profits then. So the market makers might actually decide, let's front run it, dump it a couple of days before the merge, and kind of catch people out before they've got a chance to take their profits. So that could happen as well. But we'll see how it goes, how it develops over the next couple of weeks. Potentially from the CPI, we had quite a good few days of pushing up. So we've had some pullbacks along the way, but potentially this week we could pull back a little bit, consolidate a bit. We'll see. Like we always say, you never know. You just never know what's going to happen. But for now, it's kind of positive. But as I always say to people, have a plan to take your profits. Always be looking to take profits. The it's not the time of the cycle to be going big into anything because it's just too risky right now. So you can get some good returns. Say Ethereum's up about 100% in the last month. Some alts have pumped 200, 300%, but it's a lot harder to find them, and you could get into it maybe just too late. It might be up 100%. You think it's going another 100, you get in there and it just dumps back to what it was. So it's very risky right now. Very risky. A bull run is very easy to make money. Bear market, very easy to lose money. So I'd say for now, sit on your hands, take profit if there's anything to take, and just start to plan for the next bull run, which is what I always like to talk about. Actually, one other thing I will mention is on the crypto front, that this week there was news that BlackRock, which basically own pretty much everything, a lot of stuff. BlackRock own a huge amount of things which you wouldn't even know that BlackRock owned. Huge money in there, and they've kind of always been, well, not always. They've been very against crypto, said about how bad it is, whatever. But basically now they have actually set up a, you know, I didn't make too many notes of talking about this because I hadn't planned to. I think it's a fund that basically people can invest in and get exposure to crypto. But basically, they're basically kind of adopting it. So that's kind of a big news. It's a double-edged sword, all this stuff, because on the one hand, for what crypto stands for is basically decentralization, giving power back to the people, giving you control of your money and all of that. And on the one hand, you don't actually want all this involvement from institutions, governments, the things like with Tornado Cash being made legal, arresting developers. For a truly decentralized system, you don't want any of that. But people also want to make money. And in order to make money, you need that new money coming in, institutions taking it. So it's like a double-edged sword. Like, yeah, if you want to make money, you need that. But if you're kind of truly one of the original people who share the original beliefs of what crypto was and Bitcoin was, then you kind of wouldn't want that. But then you're maybe not going to make big money. So it's kind of a coin toss of what you actually want. But I don't think there's any way to stop all the institutional adoption anyway. So let's just try and make some money in the meantime. Good news, our podcast is now available on another new platform. This one is called Newsly. It's an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. It basically finds the trending articles on the web for any topic you can think of, and it reads them out to you in a natural human voice, so you don't even have to read them yourself. You can follow any kind of topics on there. There's sports, there's business, health, Bitcoin, even the Kardashians if you really want to know about them. And they also have podcasts. Of course, your favourite, the Health Well podcast, is there. They've got podcasts from over 80 countries. And I listen to all of my podcasts on there now, and they even have digital radio. So you can download and use Newsly for free from www.newsly.me or from the link in the description. And if you use the promo code WEALTH, I'll also put that in the description, you will get a 1 month free premium subscription. So go and download Newsly now, subscribe to our podcast, and get your 1 month free. So we've got 2 guests with us again, and do you want to tell your names? What's your names? You go first. Rudy and Ghosty and Bo. Okay, and we're going to talk about some sports, are we? Yeah. Right. Tell me your favourite sport then, Bo.
Relay race.
Relay race.
Yes. Now me.
Now you, Rudy. What's yours?
Bounce the egg on the spoon.
Oh, egg and spoon. The egg and spoon race. You did that at sports day, didn't you? Very good. Egg and spoon race and relay race. So you both like running.
You can also do catapult.
Catapult?
Yeah.
What's that?
Who can catapult the coconut the farthest?
Is that a sport?
Yeah, well, it's a competition
A
thing.
competition. Any other sports you like playing?
I like jumping.
Jumping, yeah.
Yeah. Who can jump the highest?
Who can jump the highest?
Jump higher than you.
Can you?
Yes.
Okay, guess so then. What about anything else? Any other things you like?
Javelin.
Javelin? You have done the javelin?
Yeah. Remember at sports day?
Oh yeah, you did, yeah. Yes.
And the practice. I like doing on the bike at sports day. Bike race. I love bike race.
Bike race at sports day.
I love bike races. I like going on the train.
You like going on the train? Yeah, I don't think that's a sport, but that's good to like going on the train.
Yeah. You've never been on a train before, Rudy. I did.
I think he has.
On a little
One time, has he?
train.
Who knows?
Not saying
A big
I got
train.
airport, the little train.
Airport. Did we go on a train at the airport?
Yeah.
Ah, there you go. So he has been on a train. We did go on a train, didn't we? You're right. So he's been on a train. Okay. What else can we talk about?
Trampoline.
Yeah, jumping on trampoline's fun, isn't it? You do like doing flips, don't you? Can you do a backflip yet? No, still practicing that one. Okay. What was we doing yesterday?
In the paddling pool.
No.
Jump on my scooter.
Yeah. Made a ramp, didn't we? Jumped on the scooter. You got a scar on your knee from it.
Scar.
A battle scar, yeah. Got a war wound on your knee from falling off. But we did some pretty cool jumps, didn't we? Yeah, you jumped on your bike, didn't you, Rudy?
Yeah.
And Bo jumped on his scooter.
No, I jumped on my bike.
That's
I got the
fun.
scooter weighs 10 times every George.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember, we George.
Okay. I thought I was maybe slightly in front. Okay, it was a draw. It was declared a draw.
Longer than mine.
That's right. Because
For you.
he's older than you. That's why his legs are longer. When you get older, yours will grow longer and longer.
I'm 6. And longer too my feet.
They're getting longer, aren't they? That's what happens when you grow. Yeah, that's right. Your bones grow long. Yeah, your muscles, your bones, every part of you all grows together as you get longer.
Eyes get bigger.
I don't know if your eyes get bigger. Your nose gets bigger, yeah.
Teeth.
Well, your teeth fall out and then you get adult teeth, don't you? So they grow.
Your beard.
Yes. Your beard, yes.
It's in my eyes.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you do have bones around your eyes that your eye sits inside. It's called your eye socket.
I suck.
You do.
No.
You know everything, do you?
About everything too.
Do you? Okay, then. If you know about everything, tell me what's the longest bone in the body. Don't just.
It's cold, but I know what it begins.
What does it begin with?
I think.
No, ends in Well, it's in your leg. It's called the femur. I don't think you knew that, but you just said you knew everything, so I was just checking.
All joking ourselves. I actually said in my mind I was going to say the end.
Right. Here's a question for you, Rudy. What's your favourite food?
This bit. Chips.
Chips.
I love
Oh, not chips.
fish and chips.
You like fish and chips?
They're the best. Onion with
Stinky ones.
onion rings are the best.
Oh,
Yeah, I love onions.
stinky.
I love them. Get me healthy.
They make you healthy, do they?
Yeah, they're quite healthy. Daddy.
Well, yeah, they are. They're vegetables, so they are quite healthy onions, but I don't think it's.
Healthy.
Yes, you like carrots, don't you?
And potatoes make me healthy. Fish.
Potatoes are good for you.
Protein. Fish.
Fish.
Meat. Cucumber make me healthy.
Yeah,
But
cucumber's
I
good.
don't actually like
Oh.
it. Cucumber, but I just eat it. Actually eat lettuce.
You like lettuce,
I
do
eat
you?
lettuce, but I don't like lettuce, but I just eat it.
It does.
Health.
I like to eat broccoli.
Chocolate.
Not chocolate. I don't eat chocolate. Broccoli and others.
I can sip my favorite sweet.
Okay, come on then. Tell me your favorite sweets then.
Lily.
Jellies. You like jellies? What's yours, Bo? Mint balls. Very nice. Rudy, what's your favorite dinner? Like, what's your favorite meal?
Chips.
Just chips as a meal? That's not a meal.
You know my favorite.
What's your favorite, Bo?
Spaghetti bolognese.
Oh, is that your favorite, is it? You like that one?
And pizza. And chips.
Pasta, pizza, and chips. That's your favorite dinner.
Pizza, pasta, and chips on the pizza. Chips and pasta, Daddy.
Double pasta.
Yeah. Them is my favorite.
Okay. Sounds good, I suppose. What about fruit? You like fruit? What's your favorite fruit?
Fruit, honey melon, and strawberries.
That's good. Rudy, what's your favorite fruit?
Mine is grapes and strawberries.
You don't have to shout it in. Grapes and strawberries. That's good. I like grapes and strawberries too.
Strawberries are the best. And me. Them keep me healthy.
They do keep you healthy. That's Rudy shouting. Very healthy they are. Because I know everything.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
You don't even know the dwarf planets.
I know the dwarf planets because you told me them.
Yeah, but before that you didn't know them.
But now I know everything. Yes, Rudy.
No,
Ask a question.
keep healthy.
No, sweets don't keep you healthy. Oh, fruit. Sorry. Yes, fruit does keep you healthy. Yeah, fruit's very healthy for you. Yeah.
Scary stuff.
You like scary stuff?
Really scary stuff.
Like what?
Ghosts.
You like ghosts?
Skeletons.
Skeletons?
Zombies.
Zombies?
And all the other scariest things.
You like scary stuff, Roots?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I like reindeers. Not scary. They're not scary. They are not scary. They aren't scary.
A reindeer's scary.
Oh. The reindeers and when you try to bite them,
Reindeers at dark Christmas.
and Richie was on Santa's sleigh when it was Christmas.
Was he?
Night.
Yeah.
Then morning, Santa gave Richie back to me.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't think you even had Reggie last Christmas.
I did, Daddy, I did. I just live at Christmas.
They do live on Christmas, don't they? Yeah.
Daddy.
That brings on to another one. What's your favourite animal?
My
Come on, Brady,
favourite
go first.
My favourite animals are saber-toothed giant tortoise. Well, I think they call that.
Is that a real animal? I don't think that's a real animal. You want to try again?
They're not real animals, but I just call them that because they're real and they're giant turtles and they have big tooths sticking out of them.
So just giant turtle, you mean?
Yeah, but they have big tooths.
I believe you. Saber-toothed giant turtle. I'm going to look that one up. Rudy, what's your favourite animal?
Fishes!
Is it?
Yeah.
Fishes. Okay.
Fishes are cool.
That's
Especially eagles.
eagle.
Yeah, they're cool.
Eagle's not a fish.
Yeah, but they're quite cool.
What's your favourite thing to do, Bo?
Relay races and jumping off my scooter.
Sounds cool. Okay, well, thank you very much for coming on. I'm sure you'll be back again sometime soon, won't you? Okay, so moving on, I'm going to talk about some health topics. Now, one particular thing that I'm going to talk about is something that's really, it annoys me in general, and lately I've just been seeing so much of it, it's really annoying. The thing that it is terrible, terrible, terrible health advice from Instagram, which say health influencers. So they're, you know, might be classed themselves as personal trainers or coaches or nutrition coaches or whatever. Or some of them they just post what they're working out and whatever, post other stuff. But some of the advice is just ridiculous. A lot of it to do with weight loss. Maybe they're weight loss coaches and things like that. And what I've seen a lot of them saying is basically just they talk a lot about and just concentrate on calories to say about calories is what's matter. Calorie deficit, you will lose weight, which essentially is true. If you're at a calorie deficit, if you're burning more calories than you're eating, you will lose some weight because that's natural. But what they are saying, what I see a lot of them saying, is that they're basically they would say, "Oh, we're not actively encouraged." But if you basically read between the lines and you see what they're saying, they're basically saying to people, "It's okay to eat fast food and rubbish food and all that if you watch your calories." And it's terrible advice. Like I see them, like saying about, "Oh, these are all the McDonald's meals with their calories. These are actually not got as many calories as you might think. You could have that." I seen one of them giving an example of a day's food or something for being healthy and losing weight, and they've got like a little fast food bit in there, like, oh, it's only this many calories. Like, it's ridiculous advice and it's terrible advice. Calories are not created equal. We've spoke about this before. They're not created equal. Just because you can lose weight at a calorie deficit doesn't mean that you do it eating any food. What you feed yourself is so important. Nutrition has much bigger effects than anyone thinks, than people even understand, the majority of people. It affects everything. And what's the point of you losing some weight but being unhealthy, cancer or other illnesses and diseases and dying young just because you lost weight eating fast food? Like, eat properly. The fact of the matter is that if you eat a proper healthy diet and you're exercising, you can eat a lot. Like, people don't understand. People think you need to lose weight by just not eating much, just restrict your calories. But if you're doing it right, you can eat a lot and lose weight. And one example, I haven't followed him much over the last couple of years, so I don't know if the content and advice he's given is still good. But one guy's the body coach. So a couple years back, I think it was before we were even married, my wife basically got the body coach plan, whatever it was at the time, for weight loss, and she was eating huge amounts of food, like the meals he gave, the nutrition, like you were eating tons of food, but she was still losing weight because she was eating the right food and she was exercising around it. And so, like I say, I don't know if he's still giving good advice, but back then he was, because you can eat a lot. People think that to lose weight you've got to not eat. But it's not true at all. You can lose weight eating if you eat right. So it just annoys me that people in that position where people look up to them, they respect them, and these people are saying, "Oh no, you can do that." Like, they're just trying to be relevant and popular. People want to hear, "No, you can eat your crappy fast food and still lose weight." People want to hear that, so they tell them that. But it's terrible advice. It really is, and it's not good for you in the long run. You'd be better off not losing the weight and eating healthily. But to be honest, if you ate healthily, you would lose the weight. So it's kind of a moot point. And I mean, also the muscle weighs more than fat. So when you're eating this rubbish fast food and you're losing weight, what you're probably actually losing is muscle. You're probably not actually losing fat. So it's just there's no benefits to it. I don't like going off weight. I've I don't even know the last time I weighed myself. I'm not interested in weighing myself. I don't go off weight. I always say it to my wife. I think women have a bigger issue with it. Just ignore weight. Weight is nothing. Your weight will fluctuate throughout the day. What you want to go off is how you feel and how you look. You can look in the mirror and be happy with how you look, or you can look and be unhappy. But you could be in great shape, stand on the scales one morning, and it could give you a number that makes you unhappy. But who cares? Okay, if you're looking good, you're feeling good. So just don't include weight in anything. If you're trying to lose weight, don't weigh yourself. Go off how you look. Progress photos are good. I like the use of progress photos because people forget, like, people You could be really out of shape and then just really gradually get into shape over time, work, get into shape. But if you don't kind of have progress photos of where you were here, where you were there, especially if it's like a gradual improvement, which is the best way to do it, you can kind of forget how out of shape you were and how much better you look, and you kind of feel like, oh, I've still got to do so much. Like you have never-ending goals. You constantly want to lose more weight or do more of this, and to be able to look back and say, look, this is what I was, this is what I'm here. Look, wow, that's a huge difference. I've come a long way. That's a really good thing to have. Really positively reinforces the fact that what you're doing is right. Because as well, if you kind of say you did it over 2 months and actually you've changed quite a bit, you look a lot better, you still got some way to go, but you kind of forget how bad you looked originally, and you kind of look at yourself, and think, oh, 2 months in, I've got loads to do. You could become discouraged and be like, I'd give up. Whereas actually, you've made huge progress in 2 months. And you just step back and look at it. So that'd be my advice. Don't listen to those annoying influencers who spout anything that will get them views. Don't listen to them. You need to worry about the quality of your calories, not the quantity. Eat properly. Don't weigh yourself. Go off how you look and keep track of your progress because it will encourage you. So that's my little rant about that anyway. In terms of, and while I'm on that subject, I'll have a quick talk about it because obviously when we talk about your quality of food, we say about how you want stuff that's as non-processed as possible. Minimum ingredients, minimum processes is the more natural it's going to be. That's what you want. You don't want food that's processed, full of these chemicals that are bad for you. So one of the things that's is meat. Now, meats in the supermarkets, whatever you get, it's not going to give you the nutritional value and health that it would have done hundreds of years ago because they've pumped them up. The cattle and stuff have been pumped with antibiotics and other chemicals. They're fattened up with stuff. They're all pumped with water. It's not very good. So to find good grass-fed meat, what Ryan used to say about, and that is important. So I actually recently through my networking, I've come across a guy who he's in Wales. He's based in Wales. He has a farm there, and he has grass-fed cattle, and so they sell beef and they send it out so you can get it delivered in. So I've started using them. The meat's delicious. It's massive, absolute massive. I got a They do a 5 kg box and a 10 kg box. You get a ton in there. It's huge, and it's good quality meat and it's healthy. It's healthy, and actually, it actually works out cheaper than buying the same stuff from the supermarket. So it's not even more expensive. I mean, to to look after your health, it's worth spending more money, but with this, you don't even need to. So what I'll do is I'll link their site in the description of this podcast, but it's called Pearson Farming, based in Wales. You can go on their site and order either a 5 kg or 10 kg box of meat. Tells you all what will be in it. I think they send them out about once a month, something like that. So you can get your orders in beforehand and do it. And it's well priced, it's healthy, and it's good quality stuff. So that's what I'm using at the moment. And it's things like that, just finding little ways to improve it. So, okay, I can now get good quality meat. I'll do that. Then maybe even sourcing, you could say I can source my fruit and veg at a local farmer's market, which is probably better quality than the stuff that's in a supermarket, has been sent from a country across the other side of the world, and more than likely has been had more chemicals on it to make it last. So just bit by bit, you can start to improve, find a different supplier, a different place to get something that's more healthy and make those changes. I made the change with the sparkling water. I drink sparkling water now. I tried to actually not drink tap water as much as I can. Tap water is almost worse than drinking no water. It's full of so many chemicals nowadays. You can almost just taste it. When I drink it now, it's just you can almost just taste the stuff in it. It's not nice. So I try and avoid that. I drink the sparkling water. Obviously, I drink tap water sometimes, but I try and limit it. So it's just taking those little bits, improving it, get good quality meat, stop drinking your tap water, or filter your tap water, have a filter and filter it. Find fruit and veg somewhere better, stop eating fast food and rubbish, cook your own food. So make those little changes, and you're going to see a big difference in that, and it really start to improve. And this is developed to your diet nutrition. It's just a little interesting point. I just was reading about an article about some research they did on basically sunlight, and your diet. And so they did an experiment with some animals, and basically they gave half of them the usual diet that animal would eat in the wild, and half of them they fed them the standard American diet, what standard American eats nowadays, and then they exposed them to basically UV rays representing, the sun, giving the equivalent of what you get from the sun being out all day. And basically, none of the animals eating their standard diet develop skin cancer, but most of the ones, or maybe even all, of the ones on the American diet develop skin cancer. Same sun exposure, different diet. So it just shows. I've said it before about the sun does not cause skin cancer. It doesn't. Okay. Now, obviously, you want to look after your skin in the sun, so you don't want to be burning your skin. Don't go out there and just get. But if you burn badly in the sun, that is bad for your skin. Don't do that. But the sun does not give you skin cancer. Your diet does, and actually, your diet actually affects how well you tan and can last in the sun. So there's been experiments on this as well, and research that if you change your diet, you can be out in the sun a lot longer without burning, and your skin can deal with it a lot better if you change your diet. So a huge amount of the sun's effects are from diet. Because let's be honest, go back hundreds or thousands of years, they didn't have sun cream. Okay, there was no such thing as sun cream. I doubt everyone was walking around with burnt skin all the time or skin cancer because they were eating good natural diets back then, and they didn't have all the chemicals and the seed oils and stuff in them. No one was getting skin cancer, and people were probably able to be out in the sun all day without burning. So that tells you all you need to. So the diet is so important. That's just another way that it affects it. No one would think that. You wouldn't think, oh well, maybe it's my diet that's makes me burn so easily, or it's given someone skin cancer. People don't think that, but that's what it is. It's your diet. The majority, I think, pretty much every illness that's around, essentially. I mean, obviously there'll be some exceptions, but pretty much everyone comes from diet. So if you change your diet, you can basically get rid of anything. So you need to bear in mind how important it is. The other thing that goes hand in hand with diet, obviously, is exercise. And exercise is so important. People sometimes debate about, oh, what's more important, nutrition, exercise. It's hard to say that one's more important than the other because they're both super important. You need to be exercising as well, regardless of whether you want to lose weight or not. Just to be healthy, you need to exercise. Your body needs exercise, and it makes you feel better. Has a good effect on your mental health as well. So everybody needs to be exercising. There's no excuse, absolute no excuse to not exercise. You could start with walking. If that's the level of fitness you're at, all you can do is walk. You start with walking. Go for a good walk 3 times a week. Start to build it up. Get to jogging. Do some little workouts at home with some weights, like a 20-minute workout. It's just, you need to be exercising to keep yourself healthy. It has huge, huge effects. There's been, again, research done where people who've had cancer, the ones who've exercised through it, as opposed to ones who've been doing nothing, the ones who exercise have had much better results in terms of recovering and fighting it. So exercise is huge. Should not be um, should not be downplayed the effect it has, and everyone needs to be doing it. Literally everyone. Give me one reason why someone couldn't exercise. Everybody can exercise unless you're literally like fully paralyzed. Even let's say you can't even walk. Let's say you're in a wheelchair. What's to stop you doing upper body exercise? Okay, exercise is exercise. You exercise what you can exercise, and it's like there's no reason. I don't think there's any acceptable excuse for doing no exercise. So everyone needs to be doing it. So I kind of just wanted to outline, kind of give a couple of basic steps of things that you can start to do that I would recommend start to do now to improve your health overall. So with your diet, I would say, and I've said this before, the easiest way, absolute easiest way to have an effect on your diet immediately and on your health and to make you feel better is intermittent fasting. Okay? Intermittent fasting, so easy. Doesn't sound it. When people talk about it, I'd heard people talk about it before. I hadn't tried it and bothered. It's like, oh, don't really want to go that long without eating. So easy to do. As I said, I think the easy, just cheap way to do it is to skip breakfast because you're asleep for like at least half of your fasting and time anyway. So it's easy. Just eat in that 8 hour window, then you don't eat in the 16 hours. So between 12 midday and 8 in the evening is when I eat. and then I don't eat from 8 through till 12 the next day. And it's easy, and you'll feel benefits of it. And there's huge benefits that it has in your body from intermittent fasting. So that's a first one I do. That's an easy step, I think. And I do it every single day. You could just do it a couple times a week. It doesn't have to be every day. You could do it a couple times a week, a couple days on, a couple days off. But that's an easy step. A second one is cut out or cut down on sugar. If you cut it out completely, great, but cut down. So obviously, sweet treats, sugar's in that. Obviously, there's sugar in a ton of things. You're going to struggle to cut it out completely, but if you can definitely start to cut back, sugar's a killer. Sugar, you need to be careful of sugar. Like people kind of probably again downplay how bad it is. Like sugar, and we're talking like processed sugar. You can get natural sugars in stuff, which is not the same thing, but these processed sugars are they're bad, very bad. So sweets, chocolate, sweet treats, things like that. Cut them down as much as you can. You don't have to completely cut it out. You can have a treat sometimes, but if you cut down that, so intermittent fasting, cut down on sugar, exercise a minimum of 2 to 3 times a week. Minimum. Really, you should be hitting 3, but we'll say 2 to 3. Try and get people started. That's what you need to do. You need to exercise. So if you can intermittent fasting, you can try and cut down your sugar. You can start exercising 2 to 3 times a week. You're going to feel the benefits. 100% you'll feel the benefits. And also, like I said before, if you can start to just gradually just improve parts of your diet. Like I said, getting good quality meat, not drinking fizzy drinks and more, getting better quality fruit and veg. Don't have takeaways and fast food. Start to cook more stuff yourself. If you can just gradually introduce different things and start to just improve your diet, because I don't even like to call it diet. Obviously, a diet is what you eat all the time originally. The word diet, it's, if you look back at the diet of people years ago, it's just what they ate. But nowadays, diet is like a fad. Like you do a couple of weeks of a certain diet and then you go back to eating normally. So I don't really like using the word diet so much, but your nutrition, you want to change your lifestyle. So you don't want to do a fad diet. You don't want to say, I'll just change everything for 2 weeks and then I'll just go back to normal, because that will never achieve anything. So that's why I say maybe over time, just change a bit of this. And you're like, yeah, that's working fine. Okay, I'll change a bit of this. And it's easier to keep. So you want something that you can keep up, do over time. These are long-term things. You want to change this for the rest of your life. I'm not planning to go back to, maybe in 6 months, I'll just go back to how I was eating before. Like, no, this is how you eat now. This is how you live your life. So it's just a step at a time, I think, is the best way to do it. Gradual, improve, improve, improve. As I always say, keep improving yourself. You never want to stay the same. Always keep improving. And so they're my basic steps. I'll run through them one more time. So just intermittent fasting, start that. Cut out as much sugar as you can from your diet. Exercise minimum of 2 to 3 times a week, and just gradually start to improve the quality of the food you're eating. If you can implement those things, you're going to start to see some good improvements in your physical health, and that's going to lead on to your mental health. We spoke before about the link between nutrition and mental health, and that's a real thing. So as you start to eat better, feel better, exercising, mentally, you're going to be stronger and in a better place too. So if you implement those things, that's going to be good. That's probably about all I've got time for this week. Hope you've enjoyed the podcast. Hope you enjoyed the new little setup with it. Try and make it more professional. And hopefully I'll see you again next week. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into the show. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover on the podcast, or you'd like to appear on it, then please contact us at hwpoduk@gmail.com, on our website, which is healthwealthuk.com, or on any of our social medias, which are at hwpoduk. Please make sure you like, subscribe, share it with all your friends and family, and we will see you next week.